Hello everybody and welcome to Tokyo. We're at the National Stadium to kick off the second week of fixtures in J1 on this new calendar 2026-2027. It's Tokyo Verdy against Kashiwa Reysol, one of the specially selected J1 fixtures to be played at the home of the Japan national team, this magnificent Olympic arena in southwest Tokyo. Tokyo Verdy opened up the new season with a draw last week, 1-1 against Kawasaki Frontale. It should have been a win. Reysol, the 2025 runners-up in J1, beat Mito Hollyhock 2-1. The progress Kashiwa Reysol have made under Ricardo Rodriguez means they have to be considered title contenders. And picking up victories in tricky fixtures like today's is a necessity if they are to topple the Antlers, a challenge that was just beyond them in 2025, as the Kashima club won their first title in 9 years, and 9th overall by a single point. Out come our teams into this special atmosphere. This is the third year the J.League has selected fixtures to be played at the National Stadium, and there will be a record 19 of fixtures played here between now and May. Tokyo Verdy will feature heavily, and they'll certainly welcome the chance to try and beat Kashiwa Reysol here, having failed to do that on their home pitch at the Ajinomoto Stadium since returning to J1 proper in 2024. Indeed, Reysol won 3-0 twice at the Ajinomoto in 2025, once in J1 and once in the J.League Cup. Tokyo Verdy did win both J1 100-year Vision League matches between these two. They're back in the spring. But as we know, true jeopardy wasn't really there in the bridge season. Entertaining as it undoubtedly was, tonight we will glimpse whether Verdy are equipped to properly be competitive against the J1 big guns. Kashiwa Reysol are certainly that once again, just a point behind the Antlers at the final shake-up last season, and J.League Cup finalists in this stadium 10 months ago too. So to the teams, both starting 11s today are unchanged from the opening day fixtures. So for Tokyo Verdy, that means Matthias Vidotto in goal and a back three of Suzuki, Hayashi and Miyahara. In midfield, Shuhei Mizoguchi marked his Tokyo Verdy debut with a goal against Frontale. It was Rei Hirakawa's error that gifted the equaliser in the final moments last week. Fukuda and Matsuoshi are two of the attacking prongs behind Itsuki Somino, who scored against Reysol in the Vision League and led the struggling Verdy attack in the 2025 J1 season by top scoring with 5 goals. Today's referee is from Germany. Harm Osmers, a 41-year-old FIFA and UEFA official, is on a 3-week secondment from the Bundesliga to gain experience in Japan. His assistants today are Japanese though, as too are the VARs, Junpei Ida and Satoshi Michiyama. Like his opposite number, Hiroshi Jofaku, Ricardo Rodriguez has no need to meddle with the Reysol team that started last week's 2-1 win over Mito Hollyhock, 3-4, 2-1 for the visitors today. Also, the wing-backs Tojiro Kubo and Keita Endo, who's just signed from FC Tokyo, are a real threat. A little further forward, Yoshio Kazumi slammed home a fabulous goal last week that made all the difference against Mito after Yuki Kakita had earlier given Reysol the lead. Both teams lining up 3-4-2-1 today. Hiroshi Jofaku, the second longest serving manager in J1, having taken over at Tokyo Verdy 4 years and 2 months ago, and in that time steered the club to its best ever league finish since their glory days in the 1990s. It's a very similar trajectory as Ricardo Rodriguez has enjoyed, installed at Kashiwa Reysol for the start of last year. That runners-up finish in 2025 was their best league finish since winning J1 in 2011. crackling atmosphere inside the National Stadium today. It's a big deal, these Kokuritsu Day matches. Tokyo Verdy and Kashiwa Reysol will hope it brings out the best in them. Kokuritsu Derby Day in J1. Tokyo Verdy against Kashiwa Reysol at the National Stadium, or MUFG Stadium here in Tokyo. The second of 19 fixtures selected to be played here across the course of the 26-27 campaign. The first last week, already laying claim to be match of the season. And Kashima Antlers coming from 3-1 down to score twice in stoppages and beat Yokohama F Mariners 4-3. One of two 4-3s on the opening day one of J1, along with Gamba's success over Urawa Reds. And there's an early threat here as Tokyo Verdy will launch the throw with Uchida. Reysol have defending to do. It's back only as far as Uchida again. That's a nice turn inside, and the header is in. What a start from Tokyo Verdy. Barely a minute on the watch, and Verdy are ahead. They didn't properly clear the throw-in, Kashiwa Reysol, and the ball was returned into the box with interest for the header. Bart Ryosuke Kojima. Fabulous start. Hayashi had stayed forward here, packing players into the box. And he just gets that nudge on that ahead of his teammate. Pounces finish from the centre half. Kojima beaten from point-blank range, and Tokyo Verdy off to a dream start here. Well, that thrilling match last week, the opening weekend of J1, producing 7 goals, and we've had an opener here with Kashiwa Reysol barely having a kick. Tokyo Verdy on the attack straight away, launching that throw. It wasn't cleared, and Hayashi has scored. A veteran defender. A single goal in the Vision League, and here he is again on target as early as match week 2 of the new season proper. And it was a fun diversion, that the J1 100-year Vision League, to bridge the gap in between the two calendars. Performances in that competition will always have an asterisk against them not being a officially recognised J1 proper season, with no relegation, of course. We had those two 10-team regional zones with the equivalent finishers playing off against each other. Reysol knew they'd already done the difficult bit in 2025 by finishing as runners-up to the Kashiwa Antlers, which they qualified them for AFC Champions League Elite this season, so they weren't properly on it in the Vision League. No, they did finish strongly, winning 4 of their last 5, including the playoff victory 6-2 over Kyoto Sanga. Tokyo Verdy eventually finished 10th of 20, solidly middle of the road after a lowly finish in J1, and Reysol very, very loose in the opening stages. Verdy still with possession. It's Meshino. Properly strung. Any sequence of passes together yet of Kashiwa Reysol, stunned by that early blow. There's a problem with Itsuki Somino there. Collided with the referee. So we've got a refereeing exchange programme. Osmus is a FIFA and UEFA official. Afraid in the Europa Conference League last year. The official from Bremen, who will spend 3 match weeks taking charge of J1 fixtures here. Sugioka, Koga and Harada across the back 3 for Kashiwa Reysol. But watch out for Endo and Tojiro Kubo. Kubo's excellent in last week's victory over Mito Hollyhock, the right-sided wing-back, laid on an early goal for Yuki Kakita in that one. 27 is Koki Kamasaka. Here's Endo, left-sided wing-back. Clever clearing header there from Miyahara. It's back with Keita Endo. There is a new recruit for this 26-27 campaign, Keita Endo. He's come in from FC Tokyo. Fabulous start for Verdy here. The skipper Hayashi, with that single J1 goal in the 2025 season. Came in the Tokyo Derby against FC Tokyo, April 25. Did score an own goal later in the 25 season. They are a team that over the last couple of years struggled in an attacking sense at Tokyo Verdy. Really poor goal-scoring figures all in 2025. Here's Endo. Nudges it back to Yamauchi. Chance for the shot. It was scuffed a little bit there. Sugioka picks it up. Endo. Taiyo Koga. Harada. Here's Kubo. Nakagawa. Koga. Koizumi. Tokyo Verdy stage organised. That's Kazuya Miyahara. A reasonably settled defensive unit here. He's starting his 5th year with Tokyo Verdy. Miyahara. Hayashi also. And Keito Suzuki, the right-sided centre-back, in his 3rd season at the Ajinomoto. They scored just 23 goals in the entirety of the 2025 J1 season, did the Tokyo Verdy. And Itsuki Somino led the list, goal-scoring list, with a mere 5 goals. Ricardo Rodriguez has his top scorer from 2025 on the bench today. Mao Hazuya. Miyahara. Meshino. Looks for the runner. Pass was too heavy, too far ahead of Yusuke Uchida. Nakagawa. Sugioka. Falls back to his goalkeeper, Ryosuke Kojima. Kamasaka. High press again from Yuya Fukuda. That's nice movement. Here come Kashiwa Reysol. There needs to be a challenge here. Oh, Nakagawa. Oh, finally, a little belatedly, it came in. Oh, and a wonderful strike by Keita Endo, levels it up. Terrific hit. It looked like the initial attack had been squandered. Nakagawa running for so far and so long unchallenged. They only got it half away with a bit of a scuff, did Tokyo Verdy. But Keita Endo has bent home a superb equaliser. Nakagawa, they backed off him, and then he didn't quite know what to do with it. That's a wonderful piece of skill there by Keita Endo. The new signing from FC Tokyo has beaten Matthias there, down low to his left. Super strike, 1-1. It's a real class finish, that. He scored 13 times in 68 appearances for FC Tokyo, did Keita Endo. Now he's off the mark. Just his second appearance for Kashiwa Reysol. Straight from the kickoff here. Verdy have won a free kick. Standing around it there. Shuhei Mizoguchi, 16 is Hirakawa. Involved in both goals last week in that 1-1 with Frontale. Mizoguchi scoring on his debut for Tokyo Verdy. It was Hirakawa's mistake which led to the equaliser. It is going to be Rei Hirakawa. Wall did its job. And it was a scuffed clearance. It bounced kindly for Lazar Omaric to score the equalising goal deep into stoppages last week when they were 1-up. Tokyo Verdy at the Ajinomoto against Frontale. It's not going to trouble Ryosuke Kojima. Harada is dispossessed. Tokyo Verdy can break forward here. Sweeping cross towards Uchida. Again, only half away. That's Suzuki. Soma Meshino. Suzuki. towards Uchida. Sugioka across there to clear for Reysol. There's a sense that Tokyo Verdy regressed a little in 2025. He finished 17th of 20 overall, Verdy. It's only Yokohama FC, Shonan Bellmare and Albirex and Niigata, the three relegated teams beneath them. Koizumi, he's done well. Shook off the challenge and finds Kubo. Harada. Good movement here from Reysol. They're in behind with Kamasaka. He took the extra body to get the ball away from him, but the clearance is poor. Here come Reysol again, trying to work their combinations. Kubo, back for Nakagawa. Endo. Away from Yamauchi. And Yamauchi has it inside the box here. Needs support. In the end, with too much traffic. Getting a little dangerously there. Trying to play their way out of trouble, Tokyo Verdy, and they've given up possession. %63% of the ball for Reysol here. 16 and a bit minutes gone at the National Stadium. Sugioka. Endo. Nakagawa. Kamasaka. Endo. Endo stood well. It was over the cross. Scrambling operation right now for Tokyo Verdy. And credit Reysol, they brushed off the concession of Hayashi's goal. Now completely dominating. Kubo's in behind, pulls it into the near post. Kakita making that run. And Hayashi gets across to nudge the ball away. But Tajiro Kubo is going to cause all sorts of danger for Kashiwa Reysol if he's allowed possession. Played through this time for Kakita. Couldn't nudge it on to an on-rusher. Really proficient in holding the ball up, Yuki Kakita. 6 goals in 2025, the man who operates as the main target player for Kashiwa Reysol. Mizoguchi. Scramble in the goal mouth against Frontale, got the final touch to it. Player who joined fresh from Kashima Antlers, Shuhei Mizoguchi, to open his account last week. Fukuda. Maybe a chance here to involve the front two. Samino and Uchida, who's drifted into one of the forward positions now as Reysol have got back into shape and defending. Tokyo Verdy forced to recycle. This is where you need that creative spark, someone to break the lines and make a run, otherwise it's all going to be very flat for Tokyo Verdy. Finally, someone makes a bit of a break. And that's Mizoguchi, pulled out to the left there. Hiroshi Jofaku joined midway through 2022. At that time, Tokyo Verdy had been in J2 for a decade and a half. Since their relegation, actually, from J1 in 2008. Burned through 10 managers in that time. But Jofaku immediately improved them. Finished 9th and then 3rd in 2023 for promotion. Shot straight down the throat of Ryosuke Kojima. 2023, the year Machida Zelvia and Jubilo Iwata came up from J2. Tokyo Verdy that year finished outside the automatic promotion places in 3rd, but won the promotion playoff at the expense of Shimizu S-Pulse. Again, it's down to walking pace as everyone gets at their stations. So Kashiwa Reysol was forcing Tokyo Verdy to create a little bit of sparkle from somewhere. There's the runner, but the pass isn't quite sharp enough. Harada hoists it away. A bit gangly, that challenge from Kakita. On we go. Meshino. Hirakawa. Mizoguchi. Meshino. Miyahara. Just crying out for someone to make a dart. Hirakawa. They're playing the 1-2 with Fukuda. They go again, but the lack of imagination is quite striking for Tokyo Verdy. Now Reysol can spread it. Endo. Sugioka. Taiyo Koga is the veteran. Career, the Kashiwa Reysol man. Taiyo Koga made the J1 Team of the Year from last year. Taiyo Koga. Kakita. Kubo. It's done well. It's Kubo still there. Shot is blocked. Scrambled away, but it's going to come back at Tokyo Verdy here. Sugioka. Nakagawa. Endo. His cross shut down. Suzuki. Looks for Somino. No bother whatsoever to just work possession back in their favour. Reysol. That's Koizumi. Wetaru Nakagawa, Daiki Sugioka, Kita Endo, Endo again. Possession team, this is the way Rodriguez wants them to play. Kamasaka. Kubo. Oh, he's done brilliantly again. It's Kubo! Cuts it back, but they're right on the red line in terms of defending. And Kamasaka balloons the shot. But you see again what an attacking weapon they have in Tojiro Kubo. The right-hand side, little bit of trickery. And then he's away. Can't pick out Koizumi when it came to pulling the ball across there. But that's the skill and trickery that he possesses, Tojiro Kubo. And less said about that, the better from Koki Kamasaka. But it's the attacking intent that is possessed by their wide men, Reysol, and he will know all about it. Hajime Moriyasu, the Japan national team coach, the Blue Samurai, have a friendly match scheduled for this pitch. The start of October. These the goals we've enjoyed so far tonight here at the National Stadium. Naoki Hayashi, early header from the Tokyo Verdy skipper. That made it 1-0. A point when Reysol had barely touched the ball in the second minute of the match, but visitors didn't panic and fashioned a wonderful goal as a response. That from Kita Endo. Here in this wonderful atmosphere that only the fixture at a national stadium can produce, really, and they are set to feature here regularly at Tokyo Verdy. In fact, both of Verdy's J1 matches this season with Yokohama F Mariners are scheduled to take place here, match week 11 and 24. Verdy versus the Antlers. That's another one on the Kukuritsu Day programme. Likewise, Urawa Reds match at Verdy. All the way on match week 21, that. I wonder what the J1 table will be looking like that deep into the season. And as we know, the Antlers are back on top here in Japan. That barren streak of almost a decade without winning a title. Historically, the most prolific club since the start of the professional era here in Japan, the Antlers. Refreshed and revitalised under Toru Aniki. And they, like Reysol, will be flying the flag in the AFC Champions League elite this season. Will Kubo get there first? Not quite. Going to be a corner. Taken quickly as well. A little too quickly. Sugioka. Koga. Survivor from the last time they played in the top continental competition way back in 2018. Taiyo Koga. Reysol are previous AFC Champions League semi-finalists. And on the attack here. Chance to move ahead. Oh, it's a super save to deny Kubo. Matthias stood up. Frustration for Ricardo Rodriguez. Straightforward through ball, which caught Tokyo Verdy napping. Kubo was in one-on-one. He's done himself an injury as well, by the looks of things. Yeah, needs a little bit of assistance here. There's Matthias. So there's the through ball, there's the dash of Tojiro Kuba. Just gets his fingertips to that. Does Matthias. It's a really good save. They were flat, all three of those central defenders for Tokyo Verdy. Matthias has been the consistent thread since his arrival from Figueirense. First came to J1 in 2020. Did Matthias Vidotto. Ever present the last two seasons, and that's not changing anytime soon. Kashiwa Reysol will be in the AFC Champions League elite with the Antlers, Vissel, Kobe and Kyoto Sanga, also Gamba, Osaka booked their place in the group stage proper with a qualifying round win over Gangwon this week. Gamba, who won the second tier Asian club competition, AFC Champions League 2, with a fabulous result back in the spring when they beat Al Nassr, the Al Nassr of Cristiano Ronaldo, in Riyadh on Al Nassr's home pitch. There's room again for Reysol to threaten. It's away by Hayashi. "25 goals in his Tokyo Verdy career across 124 appearances for Itsuki Someno. Matthias with the ball forwards. That's well played by Uchida. And a useful ball across as well, which had two of them arriving. Matsuoshi darting in from the left-hand side. Well, they've just managed to scuffle this away, Reysol. It's just another warning for the visitors. Good wing-back play. Corner here for Tokyo Verdy. Do need a little bit of a lift here. In swinger. Met by Kakita. Just out for another corner here for Verdy. Movement inside the area. Comes in at a different height this time. Loose ball looked very inviting for a moment there. Super defensive challenge. Yamauchi makes that block. Uchida there with the throw. Route that produced the goal back in the second minute for Naoki Hayashi. Reysol just swing it away. Well, over 20 years, 11 clubs via 5 countries for Ricardo Rodriguez. There was some decision as well to walk away from Uruwa Reds, having steered them to a AFC Champions League final, which he did throughout the year of 2022. And the complication with the continental calendar meant they didn't play the final until the middle of 2023, and in that time he left the Reds. It was Maciej Skorca who came in to take the glory, as the Reds did eventually win that final against Al Hilal. Sugioka. Endo. First time to get into the middle. That's Nakagawa. Kamasaka. Uetara Harada. Kagawa. The offload for Yamauchi is Sugioka. Always rising. Not shy coming forward there. Sugioka. Reasonably new recruits, part of the Reysol Rodriguez revolution. Sugioka. Matsuashi gets to his feet quickly, at least. Just having a bit of a rally, Tokyo Verdy, having surrendered control of this first half to their visitors. Couple of fouls there by Keita Endo on Yohan Matsuashi. Verdy free kick here. Looping ball in, a little bit awkward. Kakita beneath it. It's giving it up. Who's going to snap in and win that loose ball? Well, it was a Verdy win of the loose ball, but up and over Fukuda, and the potential chance goes. Sugioka. Here's Kubo. Kagawa. Yamauchi. Plenty of options here for Reysol. And then Kamasaka picks the worst one of the lot. Sugioka. Try and heel it across. In response to that spell of Verdy pressure, Reysol have dug in a little deeper and got control back themselves now. Here's Nobuteru Nakagawa. Kamasaka. Harada helps it on to Kubo. Kubo with a little weave. Nakagawa uses Harada. 4 white shirts inside the box here. Endo will be the target of the cross. It's well defended. At least in terms of preventing it from going out for a corner kick there. It's a throw which Reysol have taken quickly. Sugioka. Endo tried the little clip over the top. Koizumi there for Endo. Endo makes the byline. It just spins away from Kubo. Back with Kamasaka. Keeping their foot on the attacking gas here. Kashiwa Reysol. There's Kubo. Ball into Yamauchi. Couldn't bring the ball under his spell. Ends up tumbling over. So they stayed resolute and well organised there, Tokyo Verdy. Here come Reysol. Kakita never going to get to that. Twice the Japanese Manager of the Year, Ricardo Rodriguez, for his heroics. Last year with Reysol, he was rewarded. Also, when he was in charge at Tokushima Vortis, got them promoted from J2 in 2020. Loose again from Tokyo Verdy. Here come Reysol on the attack. Hayashi with the header away. Koizumi beaten to the dropping ball by Mizoguchi. Nakagawa. Sugioka. Endo. Nakagawa. It's Harada. Kubo. Falls back to Harada here. Koga. Trying to be intricate, but Verdy sticking to their guns again. And that's going to be an issue for them, just lumping it forward with no direction behind the out ball. Just inviting pressure back onto themselves here. Something that Hiroshi Jofuku will have to address at half-time. Yamauchi. Sugioka. Nakagawa. Kamasaka. A couple of big swings he's had at goal now from long range, Koki Kamasaka. It's only his second year in the Reysol first team, yet to score in the top flight. Koizumi. A decent recovery. Koga. Try and urge Reysol forward. Harada on to Kubo. Tojiro Kubo away from Mizoguchi again. Sends the ball in. Going to drop here for Keita. Endo, little weave round the outside. Contact and penalty. Well, it was from one wing-back to the other. Tojiro Kubo made the break. Played in the cross, it eluded everyone. Ended at the left-sided player, Keita Endo. And it's greeted with an air of mockery by Hiroshi Jofuku and Tokyo Verdy. Well, the feint works to begin with from Keita Endo. And then the defender shoves out an arm. And clearly contact. It's whether the referee deems it serious enough to constitute the prevention of a goal-scoring chance. Yusuke Uchida, he was completely sold by that dummy to begin with from Keita Endo. And, well, after that sort of contact, the attacking player is always going to make the most of it. But it's an instant result to sort of being tricked, really, isn't it, from Yusuke Uchida? Which he certainly was by that initial drop of the shoulder by Keita Endo. So, into stoppages. At the end of the first half here, there's going to be a VAR check after all. He's had Junpei Ida and Satoshi Michiyama in his ear as Harm Osmers. So across he comes, invited to take a second look at it. There's the dummy. Uchida sold, sort of recovers well enough. He's not gone to ground or anything like that there, Uchida. Up he comes. A little bit of a push to affect the running trajectory there of Keita Endo. Well, he didn't have to stay long. No penalty, scratched out his decision there, Harm Osmers. And there is no penalty to face for FC Tokyo Verdy. So we had drama at the very start of this first half and a little bit of theatre right at the end of it as well. The wing-backs again causing havoc for Reysol. Kubo and Endo. Extremely muggy conditions out there. Happy to report no sign of the flash flooding that's hit this particular part of Japan over the course of the last 48 hours or so. Reysol's home prefecture of Chiba out to the east has been most severely hit. Koizumi, that's dangerous. Just ahead of the two players in the middle there, Kakita and Endo, who was drifting in. Yoshio Koizumi just bending that towards the far post, away from the keeper. It's just too high for Kakita to get a nudge on it, and just too far ahead of Endo to get anything on it. There's a sliding foot in, and the header is won by Koga. Here's Mizoguchi. The end product has to be better. Shuhei Mizoguchi has been forced back to deal with Tojiro Kubo in the first half. A little bit of room and an opportunity to move forward and do something attack-wise, which he had there, but the chance was not taken. And he you do worry a little bit for Tokyo Verdy in terms of their composure when they manage to force a turnover of possession. So we move past the extra 4-minute mark of stoppages. That's because we had the penalty shout and the extra little bit of time needed for the referee, the German referee, to come across and look at the screen. But it's been really entertaining fare at the National Stadium in Tokyo. Perhaps at least one more attacking chance for Reysol with Keita Endo before we hear the half-time whistle. Endo with the trickery, nudges it back to Koizumi. There's Nakagawa, he plays it into Yamauchi. There's a flood of green shirts around him to clear the danger. Sugioka gets it going again. On we go. A minute and a half now past the extra allotted time. Hayashi. Little flick on. So can use Somino. Matsuashi has moved forward as Tokyo Verdy attack in the closing moments of the first half. There's the overlapper. Mizoguchi gets it back to Hirakawa. And by that stage, Reysol have everyone back in position. And the Tokyo Verdy attack dies on the vine. Naoki Hayashi gave Tokyo Verdy the lead here. Very early header that. Reysol had barely touched the ball by that point, but after that, Ricardo Rodriguez's team wrestled control of this first half and managed to get an equaliser. It's a wonderful curling effort as well. Keita Endo opening his account for his new club, which means at half-time here at the National Stadium, it's Tokyo Verdy 1, Kashiwa Reysol 1. It's the second half here of Tokyo Verdy, Kashiwa Reysol on Kukaritsu Derby Day in Tokyo. Stayed dry here. Very entertaining first half. 1-1. Here's the score. Hayashi with that second-minute header. Didn't take Reysol too long to equalise. The 11th minute when Keita Endo went home a wonderful shot past Matthias. 6 attempts by Tokyo Verdy in the first half, 7 from Reysol, 5 and 4 on target respectively. Reysol dominated the possession with 64%. Fukuda with the first attempt of the second half, but way off target. No changes at the break here. We don't have too much of a deep bench when it comes to attacking options for Tokyo Verdy, to rely on the centre half and the captain scoring their goal. Set to be another difficult year in front of goal, it seems, on the evidence of that first half showing. Reysol with the 2025 J1 top scorer Mao Hosoya still under wraps. And Hosoya for Kakita is the switch we expect to see from Ricardo Rodriguez at some stage. Yusuke Segawa, another attacking option off the bench, the former Frontale player. Safely through to Ryosuke Kojima. Tokyo Verdy and Kashiwa Reysol similar in the sense that their glory days were some time ago. Tokyo Verdy, previous incarnation as Verdy Kawasaki, were a giant team in the early days of J1. As Verdy have to defend here. And it's Matthias pulling off another important save after blocking Kubo's effort in the first half. Yamauchi, and that break into the inside left channel, and the cut inside and the attempted curler blocked by the keeper. Harada plays it in. Nakagawa there, can't pick out the teammate. That's very loose. Kamasaka given an invitation to attack again here. Reysol. Low cross in is headed away by Suzuki. Pressure on Harada, but Wataru Harada gets it back here. Little slot through for Kakita. Took Hayashi with him. Verdy skipper concedes the corner. Kamasaka. Kubo. Back for Koki Kamasaka. There's Yoshio Koizumi. Nakagawa. Sugioka. Endo. Sugioka. Ships it in field there for Kakita. They're just trying to be a little bit too precise and walk it in here. Reysol. Back with Kubo. Yamauchi. Koizumi. Kubo. Koga. Swept away by Matthias. Not for the first time. Straight to a Reysol player. Nakagawa. Koga. Kubo. Kept out wide. Well played, Mizoguchi. But the transition is difficult, remains difficult for Tokyo Verdy. Cut inside. Oof. Yoshio Koizumi's done really well to duck out of the way of that attempt by his partner in the supporting attacking two behind Kakita. Harada. Koizumi. Nakagawa. Sugioka. Endo. Very patient and precise in their build-up play. Kashiwa Reysol. Koga. Harada picking out Kubo. Koizumi is the overlapper. So as initially as a decoy, this is Koizumi now. Tayo Koga. Kubo. Kubo. He's done well. A little help on from Kamasaka. Well, the pattern of the first half re-establishing itself here. Reysol with all the possession. Yamauchi. Nakagawa. Koga. Koizumi. Koizumi with a reverse pass into Kakita, stretches out those long legs to pick it up. It's heeled across by Harada, but too close to Matthias. Changes incoming here for Tokyo Verdy. Very loose that from the home team. Once again, it's a gift of possession back. Here's Kakita. It took a while to come down. Offside anyway. Yuki Kakita just peeled off that last defender there. There's a mistimed leap as well from Rei Hirakawa. They get a bit fortunate though. Team in green. Technically the home team, but as we know, this is a neutrally staged match. Had a couple of games at the National Stadium in the 2023 season. And J1, such a popular deal that they put matches on the programme in 2024 officially. To spread it out, of course, between the Tokyo teams and the teams from further west in Japan, the ones that were bundled into the western zone in the 100-year Vision League. So here come the changes. Summer Meshino is one of the players coming on. Being replaced even. Issei Kamataria and Yuta Arai are those coming on here. Switching it around in the middle of the park. Both came on match week 1, Kamataria and Arai. Young striker, Issei Kamataria, and Arai normally operates on the left-hand side. So it's Hirakawa who's being replaced. Not had the easiest of opening fortnights to the season. This means Mizoguchi will push a little further forward. Reysol back with the ball. There's Koizumi making the dart. Cross comes Hayashi. Comes straight back at Tokyo Verdy. So difficult for them to properly clear their lines. This lack of an out ball means that they're having to work incredibly hard to defend constantly. Uchida has ended up being trampled on there. He's okay, a right-sided wing-back. And now we have Masaki Watai and Yasuki Segawa. So Kakita is off. What normally happens, it's a rare thing, him lasting the full 90. And Yamauchi as well. Forced that save from Matthias before being withdrawn. To get a glimpse of Yusuke Segawa in a Reysol shirt, second year back with the Kashiwa club. He's had a little spell with the Kawasaki Frontale in between the two stints at the Itachi Dai. Off the bench as well to see it out against Mito last week. Cross in from Kubo. Rare misplaced pass, but Verdy almost giving it away. It was a free kick, which means they do have possession after all, but need to be so much more precious with the ball. The Tokyo Verdy, really. Otherwise, it's going to be a long season again. Slipped from 6th in 2024, did the Tokyo Verdy, all the way down to the relegation scrap last year. And in the end, the bottom three were so much worse than everybody else. It was an 8-point gap in the end that Tokyo Verdy did enjoy over Yokohama FC. It was a torrid campaign at times in 2025. Pretty much the opposite of the journey Reysol were on. Yellow card is for Nakagawa by the looks of things. Missed his kick on Kamateria and then grapples him back anyway. As well as finishing runners-up to the Antlers in the league, they were also beaten in the J.League Cup final in this stadium, Kashiwa Reysol, last November. Lost by 3-1 to Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Runners-up in the Emperor's Cup final 23. Another losing appearance in the J.League Cup final in 2013, since they last won a domestic trophy, Kashiwa Reysol. So a terrific spell in 2010 to 2013. They won J2 in 2010, backed it up with a spectacular J1 title. The very first year back in the top flight. And Nelsinho Batista, in his first spell, one of the great names in the annals of the Kashiwa Reysol history, as well as those two titles, J2 and J1. Emperor's Cup victory 2012, J.League Cup win in 2013, became regular fixtures in the AFC Champions League. A sequence that ended with them getting to the semi-finals in the 2013 Champions League, beaten by the eventual winners, Guangzhou Evergrande, as China had their moment in the spotlight in that competition. Guangzhou winning that year's competition. In fact, they were back-to-back winners. No Marcello Lippi. Reysol didn't get out of the group, their last appearance in the AFC Champions League in 2018. Better equipped, you sense, to make deeper inroads. And that competition kicks off again for 26-27 in the middle of next month. Expanded competition, 32 teams in it. 16 in the West Zone, 16 in the East. Round robin group stage. Clever ball up and over the top. It's a wonderful ball through for Segawa. who waited for it to sit up on the bounce and then thrashed the half volley over the top. Fabulous ball up to Yusuke Segawa, though, to create the chance. Kashiwa Reysol mixing it up there. Kubo, stopped by Mizoguchi. Oh, he knows that was a chance. It's a challenge for him to keep his balance and keep his bearings there. So he peeled away from the defender, watched the ball drop over his shoulder. Kubo. Working the combination there with Koizumi. It's Kubo. Shot took a deflection. Could have gone anywhere. Could have come off anyone. It's bounced behind of his own player for a goal kick. That was the interplay. Verdy Kawasaki, as Tokyo Verdy were once called, on J1 back-to-back, 93 and 94, giants of the early professional scene in Japan. J.League Cup and Emperor's Cup victories as well in that era. But haven't won any silverware since the 2004 Emperor's Cup. Tokyo Verdy, after the name change in 2000. Chance on the turn and the finish. And Kashiwa Reysol are back into the lead. Off the bench to get it right. After smashing over the top with his first chance, Yusuke Segawa, given too much room on the edge of the box, beats Matthias. Reysol have come from behind to lead 2-1 at the National Stadium against Tokyo Verdy. Just playing in that hole, off the front player, checks back, bends it past Matthias, who has now been beaten twice in this match from outside the box by Keita Endo's equaliser, and then a not dissimilar finish from Yusuke Segawa. Back at Reysol for the final throws of the 2025 season from Frontale. He was on target 4 times during the 100-year Vision League for the Kashiwa club. Opens his account for the new season. Might have had 2 on another day off the bench, Segawa. Kashiwa Reysol won 9 times on the road in 2025. They're outperformed away from home by the teams all around them, even the 2 clubs who finished in the lower places, or at least the 2 places beneath them. Kyoto Saga and Sanfrecce Hiroshima were both victorious 10 times away. A good record at home. Reysol at the Itachi Dai, 12 of 19 in beaten just twice. Trip on Endo, a little bit scruffy over there. Yuta Arai, the sub, getting involved. Oguchi in there, ball driven across, it eluded the two of them coming in at the far post. But they need to start being a little bit more positive in an attacking sense here. The Tokyo Verdy chasing it now. It's a little more like it. No more changes as yet from Hiroshi Jofuku. Pushing on to the last 20 minutes now. Mizoguchi. Kubo there doing his defensive job. Suzuki for Hayashi. No way through. Over on the far side there from Keito Suzuki, Shion Nakayama and Soma Kanda are being readied. Harada. Layoff from Koizumi. Nakagawa. He's had a good game in the midfield for Reysol. It's just such a task getting the ball off Kashiwa Reysol. System and a style that reminds me very much of Go Kurada at Machida Zelvia. It's very economical in possession. Everyone knows their role and keeps the team shape. That was Watai. Might be a chance to get these players on now for Jofuku and Tokyo Verdy. Players tiring, and no wonder having to work so hard when they don't have the ball, the way Reysol just ping around the passes and pull you out of position. Hydration break combined with the changes here. There's a Reysol eye up. A 100% start to 2026-27 after Naoki Hayashi's second-minute header. Reysol have been the dominant force in this one. Keita Endo with the equaliser, and then off the bench here, Yusuke Segawa, given too much space, able to bend home. 2-1 here, Reysol. So Fukuda is going to be replaced by Summer Kanda, who gets a start here to his Tokyo Verdy career. The other player coming in, Shion Nakayama. Two prospects for the future, Kanda at just 20 and Nakayama at 18, both highly rated. First minutes in a Tokyo Verdy green shirt for Summer Kanda, the 20-year-old Japan under-20 World Cup striker from last year, joined from Frontale. Only fleeting minutes in J1 for the Kawasaki club so far, and Nakayama first-blooded into the Tokyo Verdy team during the Vision League. Maybe they could make an instant impact as Reysol have to defend. Hayashi. All right. There's the interplay, but it was too easy to read. Although that's not his best contribution. Tojiro Kubo today. Give the ball straight away again. Nakayama does his best work down the left-hand side at Shion Nakayama. Come in to basically take up that Meshino role by the looks of things. Long ball up is dealt with by Koga. Well, plenty of these Reysol players, particularly across that back three there, have international experience. If they haven't made a big impact in the national squad. Koga 3 caps, Sugioka across to his left 5 caps. Even Kojima, the goalkeeper, is a youth international. There's the layoff, there's the ball through, and the challenge on Arai was important. They're rallying here, as they need to, at Tokyo Verdy. Shot from range is straightforward for Kojima, but more attacking impetus now from Tokyo Verdy. Even if that wasn't set to properly test the Reysol keeper. Hayashi. It's going to drop for Kumasaka. No call yet, it seems, for Mao Hosoya. It's Ricardo Rodriguez set to use last season's top scorer in a runners-up campaign, only sparingly, because it seems that we're going to see a debut here for Kenshin Yuba for Kashiwa Reysol. There's a fresh signing from Sagan Tosu. Nakagawa. Kumasaka. It suits Kashiwa Reysol to just slow it all down here. So the trip on Keita Endo will allow more changes. Yoshio Koizumi is going to be withdrawn. Likewise, Keita Endo, whose lasting contribution will be that curling attempt. Levelling things up for Reysol. There it is. It's 9 minutes after they conceded. So his first goal has been registered in Reysol colours. Keita Endo, Yoshio Koizumi, replaced by Kenshin Yuba, makes his debut for Reysol, and Hayato Nakama, the 34-year-old striker off the bench 15 times last season. Yosuke Uchida has been replaced by Ryosuke Shirai, likewise in a final throw of the dice by Hiroshi Jofuku. The youngster at just 21, Ryosuke Shirai, made that switch last week against Frontale when it looked like they were set for an opening day win. Nakagawa plays an important role for Reysol, setting the tempo in a sense. Segawa can't quite bring that ball down. Ten minutes to go of the 90 at the National Stadium. Tokyo Verdy 1, Kashiwa Reysol 2 is the score. Match week 3 next week sees Tokyo Verdy go to Fagiano Okayama, Fifaran Nagasaki. The visitors to the Hitachi Dai for Ricardo Rodriguez's team. Given away. Reysol moving forward, looking for the third goal that potentially wraps things up. The last-ditch defending by Tokyo Verdy. They can't get it away. Watai. Kubo. Nakagawa. Harada. Kagawa again. There's Segawa in the gap. Has come through for Kubo. Gets the goal. His performance has deserved, denied by Matthias in the first half. Kubo, the recipient of the through ball, tucks it past Matthias Vidotto. That should be that for Kashiwa Reysol. Slickly done. Straightforward. Gaping holes at the back for Tokyo Verdy. No danger that Tojiro Kubo was offside there. Delightful little finish. Well, perhaps hasn't quite had the attacking impact and less of an opportunity to display his wing play in the second half at Tojiro Kubo, but nevertheless a constant threat. And you don't begrudge him that. Works so hard. He is such a tricky and dangerous player, Tojiro Kubo. And it's an emphatic finish, that. From Nagoya Grampus via Sagan Tosu, a loan spell in 2024. He's fresh in for last year, 7 goals in the 2025 season. Added another 1 in the 100-year Vision League. Now he's got his campaign off and running goal-scoring wise. And just before, it seems, he will need some treatment. Is that just cramp? Tojiro Kubo. It's forced Ricardo Rodriguez's hand. We've got Seiya Baba, formerly of Tokyo Verdy, who comes in to shore things up to centre half. Baba. Had a couple of years on Hokkaido with the Consadole Sapporo. After leaving Tokyo Verdy, did Baba. Played 47 times at the Ajinomoto between 2020 and 2022. Now then, don't do anything silly, is the message. It's going to be something of a test to start well for Reysol. Prove that last year was no flash in the pan. No, it's suggesting it is, of course, but you have to deliver, having set the expectations high. That's what they're doing here. Kashiwa Reysol. After the Vifaren fixture next week, it's back-to-back matches on the road. Shimizu S-Pulse and Cerezo, and then Yokohama F. Marinos go to the Hitachi Dai start of September. Yeah, too much pressure on the goalkeeper there, Kojima. Try as Tokyo Verdy have in the second half. They just haven't had the quality to get back in this. Opportunity to put plenty of points on the board for the challengers. Reysol certainly in that bracket before they face the Antlers for the first time this season. 24th of October, that's set for. Match week 12. Kiyama won't have the opportunity to try and contribute a 4th goal today. Kagawa. Harada. Koga. Kojima. Didn't get much on that there, Ryosuke Kojima. The Kagawa there, just to help out. Could be a little bit loose there. Harada made the correction. Nicely done. Nakamo come to play on this right-hand side. Now Kubo's gone off. Watai threatening again, down the left. And drawing a card. Yellow card there for Keito Suzuki. Yuba threatening to get away there, Kenshin Yuba. A new sub last week against Mito Hollyhock. 17 appearances last year for Sagan Tosu in J2. Shirai. Baba with the throw. Can Tokyo Verdy muster something here? Shirai that plays it in. Shot on the turn from Kanda. Hits the defender. Early signs are this season that Kashiwa Reysol hit the ground running, following on, continuing the tradition of 2025. They just look well organised, well drilled. Be a different kind of challenge when injuries come and start altering the situation. Injuries to key players. Is there the strength in depth? That's always the big question. As they will look to keep pace with the Antlers. They're all set to take a win today. Tricky on paper away fixture without Mao Hasoya being used. Miyahara. Hayashi. Miyahara. Go long. Well, someone who has tried hard. Isolated target man doesn't necessarily mean who it is. The service has been a little bit lacking once again, and have to be wary of it being same old for Tokyo Verdy, struggling for goals. Actually failed to score a goal in 24 matches in the J1 season in 2025. Drew a blank in 9 of their last 13 as well. As the season petered out a little bit, they just knew they were going to be safe. That was the main criteria for them. There'll be a chance to make inroads in the cup competitions. Emperor's Cup. J1 clubs join that competition, second round. Fixtures scheduled for 26th of August, first round. The J2 and J3 clubs hasn't started yet. first round of the J.League Cup set for 9th of September. And as regards AFC Champions League fixture list for Kashiwa Reysol, that competition will get underway 15th and 16th of September. A nudge over the tops, just a little too far ahead there of Yuta Arai. Almost halfway through the extra 6 minutes. Baba. Watai. In their 2 away matches in 2025 against Tokyo Verdy, Reysol scored 3. 3-0 at the Ajinomoto in the J1 match. 3-0 at the Ajinomoto, first round of the J-League Cup semi-final. On 3 goals here, looking for number 4. There's the back heel, and the shot from Nakama. Save from Matthias. Match at the Hitachi Dai finished goalless last year. Reysol won the home match, second leg of the J-League Cup semi. Didn't lead to success, and they were beaten, of course, by Hiroshima in the final. But Ricardo Rodriguez continues to demonstrate progression for Kashiwa Reysol. There's a suggestion that he might even end up in England, taking up an opportunity there after leaving the Reds at the end of 2022. I wonder if that is a potential destination for him in the future. The extra experience gained as being Frank Rijkaard's assistant as Saudi Arabia boss 15 or so years ago. Ricardo Rodriguez, he's a really interesting coach. Demonstrated that he wants to learn and travel and become a better coach, building this Reysol story. Another small chapter of which has been written today for sure. 2-1 against Mito Hollyhock. The first week of the season. 3-1 here at Tokyo Verdy on the second week. Watai picks up a rather needless yellow card there. Verdy will go into match week 3, still searching for their first win of the season. Shion Nakayama bending that shot straight at Ryosuke Kojima. There goes the final whistle at the National Stadium. Derby day delight for Kashiwa Reysol. The Roberto Rodriguez revolution at Reysol continues. A 3-1 win here against Tokyo Verdy. They had to come from behind to do it after Naoki Hayashi's second-minute header put the hosts ahead. Just 9 minutes later, Endo with a lovely finish made it 1-1. And then they turned the screw after that dominating possession. Kashiwa Reysol to score further goals, and run-out comfortable winners in the end. Yusuke Segawa, the substitute, was given too much room on the edge of the box to turn and score. And then Matthias was beaten again by Tojiro Kubo, who he denied in the first half. For Reysol's third goal, opening away day and a first win on the road for Reysol. And Tokyo Verdy have just a 1-point return from their first 2 matches of the season. Reysol stay 100% after a 3-1 win here in Tokyo over Verdy at the National Stadium. So it'll be the Fagiano Okayama test away from home next week for Hiroshi Jofuku's team, as they will look again to solve this goal-scoring dilemma. Didn't look too threatening with their nominal attackers out there on the pitch. Indeed, it was the captain and centre-half who scored for them today in Naoki Ayashi. From open play, they seem to struggle and lack confidence going forward, but on the opposite end of the scale, Reysol look supremely confident and well aware of their individual duties. The system, clearly fine-tuned in 2025, has been fired up and is humming again in the 26-27 season. They are well equipped to take on all challenges, Reysol, it seems. J1, the domestic cup competitions and the AFC Champions League Elite. It's been a very tidy win on the road here and in the cauldron atmosphere of the National Stadium too for Kashiwa Reysol, as we wait for some post-match reaction.
チームは連勝となりました。特別大会苦しめられた相手からの勝ち点3、どうお感じですか？
いや開幕最初の3試合が大事っていうのはチームも自分も感じていた中で、今日の試合ももちろん大事でしたし、チーム全員の力で勝ち点3取れてよかったなと思います。
今日はベンチからのスタートでした。試合はどうご覧になってたでしょうか？
予想通りの展開でしたけど、なかなか点が入らないというかチャンスはあったものの枠に飛ばなかったりとか、